Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Right, let's get cracking, Joe. We're all but done with 2023 and we're about halfway through the season, which is a perfect time to bring out our sort of team of the season so far on the Saturday Social whiteboard.
Yeah, I think we're literally halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Most teams have played 19 games, so we've asked our guests to pick their team of the season so far. So you've got your magnets in front of you. Should we start in goal? Keep it nice and simple?
Yeah, makes sense. Goalkeepers, revealed to the camera who you've gone with.
Ooh.
Two good shouts here. Alisson and Vicario, both been immense. Nubaid, we'll start with you.
There's no questions about this man being the best keeper in the league. I think his shot save percentage is 83%. The only reason Liverpool have the best defence in the league is because of Alisson Becker. There's chances where strikers go through, and never in your life have you gone, the keeper's winning.
Great shot stopper, yeah.
Keeper wins it every time.
I think for me, I just quite like the idea of having someone new in there, first of all. I think getting a new signing in always spices things up. It's very rare that a keeper comes in and doesn't have a complete disaster class sometimes. I mean, we've seen it with Man United, with Onana this season. We thought, OK, is that going to be the answer? Probably not. I think, Joe, you'll probably agree that it's been touch and go at points. But
I do get cheap, but he's coming through it now.
Despite the fact that, OK, Tottenham shipped 4 goals the other day, I don't think it's been where the keeper's really been at fault.
He was amazing.
And again, yeah, you mentioned the percentage. I think Vicario's just below Alisson as well, but you know, it's a hard one to call. Two best in the league.
Because I think everyone would agree that Alisson's probably the best, one of the best keepers in the world, and probably stand up. But if we're talking this season alone, to Emil's point, obviously Vicario actually has a better XG prevention ratio than Alisson does.
What's this? XG prevention.
It does.
He's done an XG, mate.
Metric of a keeper. Obviously,
science.
no errors leading to goals, some unbelievable saves that have been nominated.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people would actually put, in terms of current form, put Vicario in there.
I feel like you've cheated a bit because you know Smithy's there. But you could have put Emerson Royale in goal.
Yeah. No, I think he's had a massive
Yeah.
He has actually.
one of the bargains of the season.
Yeah, he has had a
I think apart,
million.
until Tottenham
Incredible.
dropped off, it was very much a case of you've got a real safe pair of hands at the back, and it's those. I think there's a bit of a theme through my team, which is those talismans that make sure that teams can stay there and keep up. I think that if it weren't for all of the injuries that you've got as well, by the way, Tottenham, apart from all of that, you know, Tottenham would still probably be riding high there as well.
Yeah.
But you know, it could still come back, and if you've got someone like that in goal, then there's every chance of it. But I still think that Alisson is an incredible keeper, but he did miss a game. So.
Yeah, I think Alisson probably is the better keeper. I think Vicario has had the better season.
Okay.
Honestly, I think
Joe's
he's been amazing
in the room,
Vicario.
so you're going with
as the
Vicario?
neutral.
Cool.
Right, placement.
I think it's very close though, isn't it? Yeah, no,
so
around
left
there.
a bit, maybe.
Down a bit in the white zone. In the white zone. Yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking.
There we are.
Right backs.
Okay.
I've cheated a bit this time. Pedro Porro.
Oh,
his team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Emil.
What's happened recently to Kieran Trippier? Because he's a fabulous player.
What happened before then? I still think that he was he's a fantastic right back. Look, in terms of what you get going forward and what you get defensively and what you get as a leader on the pitch as well, it is the player that has made sure that Newcastle are pretty sure at the back. I mean, there's still 7 clean sheets in there, I believe. His assist record's been pretty good.
7 assists in the Premier League.
7 assists as well in the Premier League. You know, he's been a big mainstay for a lot of fantasy teams, although I have just transferred him out. I must
Wow. So even your pick, you've even transferred him out of your team.
Just this week. Look. December doesn't count for the entire season, but I think that I really do think that he is up there as pretty much the best right back in the Premier League. A few head losses in recent weeks. Yeah,
a couple of, especially
when
as
19 games in, and he's probably had 5 bad weeks. That's like 25% of the season he's not been good. And I think Pedro Porro has been outstanding. Like the reason Spurs...
He's had Champions League to deal with as well, though.
Let's not do fatigue. Fatigue doesn't count. Pedro Porro's been unbelievable for Spurs, and he's been a mainstay. When you've had a lot of injuries, he's stayed fit. Also, he's been asked to do a brand new role. He's playing as an inverted right-sided player, and I actually think he's been one of the best right-backs in the league.
6 assists as well from right-back. I mean, assist numbers for both pretty incredible.
Are we just building out Tottenham's...
Yeah, you going...
It's slowly going to be Tottenham's
I
team of
think,
the
given
season,
that you can't make a selection now, I actually do think it's been Pedro Porro. It's been exceptional.
What I will say so far, guys, it's a fantastic team so far.
Yeah,
Look at this.
that should
Team of
be
season.
the end of that.
That's all we got time for, guys.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Centre-backs, is there going to be first agreement here?
Yeah, well, I've got him on mine here anyway, so I believe that's probably going to be an agreement.
Yeah, let's do them both at the same time.
That's pretty good.
At the same time. Is this just a tap-in?
It's got
I think so. I'm trying to think of any other centre-backs this season that
I had a bit of
Van der Ven's been good before his injury.
Yeah, I was putting a claim in for potentially how good Everton have been at the back recently, and Tarkowski, I think, gets an honourable mention for this. But, you know, as I was saying before, in terms of those players that can keep you up there, if Liverpool lost Van Dijk, that would be, you know, curtains, I would say. Likewise, last season, it was the same with Saliba. If he was to drop out for an injury or, you know, a long suspension, that could be a bad news for Arsenal as well. So I do think that what you've got there is
I think
the
they're
best
two good
pairing.
shouts, to be honest.
Esri Konsa also honourable mention, given how well Villa have played this year. He's played at right back as well at times.
Yeah. Who's the best centre-back in the league for you this season? Van Dijk,
without
you go.
question.
Yeah, I've got to agree on that one.
Van Dijk.
I think we're at a point where, because he's been so good, like, people don't talk about how good he is, but they'll often talk about, say, Saliba was unbelievable today, Konate was unbelievable, because he's the level.
It's the discreet nature of it. It's quite an understated performance when it comes to Van Dijk, I always think. And that's normally the sign of a great defender. When you don't even notice what they're doing, that is when they're just operating. They're pulling the strings of the entire team, and I think Van Dijk...
Judging by his own previous standards, what you're saying, I get
Let's get him up there.
Let's get him up there.
Yeah.
OK, let's go to left
You've gone
back.
for Arsenal, man.
There we go.
Left backs.
We are struggling for left back.
Now, I don't even know if I've got a left back here, but I think I've ended up with...
We can't do this again. We can't put another Tottenham player.
Potentially, he has been so good.
He is so good, by the way.
Another
He
good
is
one.
so good.
He's got a few goals as well. The only thing is his discipline record, which is the downside of...
But that's the whole of Tottenham, isn't it? Disciplinary wise.
Zero cards,
this season.
0 cards.
4, is it?
I was struggling for left backs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've settled on Nathan Ake just because he's the most safe left back in the league. I actually think Udogie has been outstanding this season, but I think if I want to pair him with the rest of my defence, I was thinking tactical, you know, that he's pushing on, let Ake come across. Udogie's not.
Do you think he will be widely regarded as the best left back in the league in a couple of years? Bear in mind he's only 21 years of age, and you've seen what he can do defensively against the likes of Saka and Salah. You've seen what he can do going forward with the...
I feel like you really want me to say it. Less about me, it's more about you.
In an age like that, though, it makes you wonder, will a team like Man City eventually want to maybe go after someone like that?
Yeah.
I mean, and then if he's in...
Also a valid point.
Well said.
Can Tottenham sustain enough to make players stay there for a long period? If he's come in at 21, that is, you know, it's for the taking there, unless they can really...
He's long term, but we know what that, obviously, money talks and stuff, but... Yeah, interesting one. Two top players. I love Nathan Ake as well, by the way.
Can we really have another top player
has been Udogie. I think Nathan Ake has been fantastic.
Joe's the neutral then, if you're going in
three Tottenham players.
I don't think that's a disgrace.
I don't think there's any Tottenham players after this. I don't know if there's any more coming in. Or
stick him up then.
Well, yeah, let's get Udogie up. Honestly, I think in those areas it's got to be legitimate shouts. Moving into midfield. Now we're going to have to see how you make the teams out here, because there is some agreement. There's also some disagreement, isn't there?
In terms of positions.
Yeah.
So
I've gone with my DM.
Yeah, so you got Declan Rice at DM. Emil, you got Declan Rice?
Right, Emil, you're just frantically searching
There's a player in there that I forgot I picked. So that's changed. Rice. I mean, in terms of living up to
Rice, baby.
Living up to your price tag doesn't come much better than this, really. Could have easily struggled at Arsenal when he came in, but I do think that with Rice, you've got the full package there, and he's almost been as important to Arsenal as all of the other key players.
Yeah, massive player for Arsenal, isn't he? I mean, Robbie Lyle last week's show actually had him down as bargain transfer.
Yeah, 105 million is not a bargain. That's crazy.
In this day and age,
it's the right amount of money to pay for him because of the impact he's had on their team, but. 105 million of bargain, we are struggling.
It's a bargain in Chelsea's eyes.
But he has been sensational, hasn't he? I think we'll all agree.
I just think it was the last minute. Was it the last minute winner or equaliser?
There's been a couple, to be fair, because there was also Luton, there was Man United, there was the one against Chelsea to get him back in the game as well.
Yeah. OK, so Rice is in. Should we have a look at you're playing 4-3-3 here, we take it. So we should have a look at your next
Who else have you got in midfield, you guys?
See how you're playing. Bernardo Silva and James Maddison. And you've got Rodri and Douglas Luiz.
Rodri and Rice in the same midfield. And Douglas Luiz, that's a defensive side. That smells like Newcastle to me.
We love it. Going forward, though, to be honest.
I've gone Maddison for that. But there's so many Tottenham players in there. But in that first period of the season, he was probably in the top 2 or 3 players in the league. Then he has been injured for a while. And then Bernardo Silva keeps doing the things that I think people keep forgetting that he's doing. And he's constantly there. He's such a good player. I think, was it against United where people suddenly went, oh, my God, Bernardo Silva's the best player in the league still. So I think as a 3, Rice, Bernardo Silva, Maddison, balance-wise, I think it's nailed on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I quite like a defensive team. I quite like to protect what we've already got at the back there. I think with Rodri, again, going back to my points with Van Dijk and Saliba, if he's not in that City team, then they're struggling. That's always the problem for them. And again, I think that just coming off the back of the Champions League winner, I know that was obviously last season, but, you know, to maintain a bit of that going in. I know he had a bit of he saw red at the start of the season, which was a bit of a problem. But again, you know, take him out of that Man City team, they fall apart.
Yeah, the difference is we did this a few weeks ago. The stat of without Rodri, I think all the games that City have lost or not taken points from when Rodri's out of the team. The difference with him in and out of the team is he's going to be crucial for their running as well. Because when Man City go crazy in the second half, and we've already seen it against them
at some stage.
Yeah.
It's coming, believe me. And also just to mention, you know, I think it would be mad to not have a Villa player in there because what they've done this season.
He's the midfielder. I would have had Boubacar Kamara, which is why I went for Rice instead.
Yeah.
I think Luis has been really good.
His attacking returns have been pretty good too. I mean, he surprised me with a lot of goals and burnt me a few times with that fantasy stuff. But
I can't put in a Villa player for the sake of putting in a Villa player. Like if there's no space for him.
But do you mean there's no one in that team who plays for Villa who deserves a thing? No, considering where they are,
they definitely deserve a shout. Yes, but then am I going to have him over any of these two guys or Rodri?
I'd have him over Maddison probably.
Well,
Maddison's not been there. If we're saying what Trippier's done in the last 5 weeks, Maddison's not even been there.
Injured since the 6th.
Yeah, I know, but you can't judge a player for being a morale on the bench.
I would have gone Rodri, Rice, and Bernardo Silva. I can't have Douglas Luiz in this team, unfortunately.
You want to take one each then from this?
Yeah,
let's do one each. Who are you putting forward?
2 City.
Okay, I think it's fair enough.
Sorry, Villa fans, I tried.
Yeah. And I think Madders we can all say Maddison, if he hadn't have picked up an injury, probably would have been in there.
Harsh on Madders because he was an absolute fireback. He's been injured. 8 goals and assists in 11
pretty good, man.
But you're saying he's not been there, so yeah, 2 good shouts, I think. Bernardo Silva and
Okay, forward line again. I think there's agreement in here, but there's potentially players playing.
All 3?
I think let's reveal all 3 and then we can figure out.
To the camera. So you've gone
Who do I support?
Son and Anthony Gordon,
Yeah.
And
I don't even remember putting Saka in there, to be fair, but...
Okay, there's potential for one.
Saka and Watkins, okay.
Yeah, Watkins is my Villa player, actually. Completely forgot I had him in there.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's been unreal this season.
Yeah. I think he's just so touch and go, though. You know, he can have an amazing game, but then he can just go flat. And blank.
I think this season less so. The last couple of games he's been flat, probably because he's shattered.
Yeah.
But
I thought you can't be tired though in Trippier's
okay.
Always.
This Newcastle Tottenham, they just want to fight for their lives. I'm talking about Aston Villa here. I think Watkins has been pretty relentless this season. He's got 10 goals.
He has 9 goals, 6 assists in.
How can you not put Son in in terms of relentless? I mean, he's a man back to form this season. I thought he was starting to go on the downside of that now, but Son is your key man every single game.
11 goals, 5 assists for Son. 16 goals.
Son in there, we've got 4 Tottenham players in there.
But they've been good.
No Villa players.
Tottenham are arguably having their best season in a long time, and this is mainly down to
Aston Villa are as well. They're 3rd in the league.
Well, I know, but I would say that Son's doing better than Watkins. I mean, because he brings more to it. Watkins is just...
Well, you can do the comparison. Watkins is 9 goals, 6 assists. Son is 11 goals, 5 assists.
Very close.
So close, but Son does edge it in terms of goal.
I think Salah and Son are having... I wouldn't say like a renaissance because they've never been gone too long, but they did drop off at a point. Like, I think last season it was pretty clear to see that both of these players who would normally be, you'd be struggling...
Someone's playing through an injury, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And they've gone through that bad spell, but...
Honestly.
Can we get like a little tally of injury mentions?
I'm willing to negotiate with you. If you go Son left, Watkins through the middle.
Can I mention Anthony Gordon just for a second, please? I think that...
By the way, you said I'm going to negotiate. He didn't even let you finish.
He wants his front 3.
Well, no, I've not actually mentioned him yet. I mean, Saka, I feel like Saka's another one where it needs to be there. There's so many tough goals. Attacking-wise, it's so many tough goals.
Also, no one's put Jared Bowen in.
Again?
Yeah, I was struggling. Jared Bowen, I would love to have him in, but I'd have to play him through the middle, and then I was looking at Son, Watkins.
Yeah.
I was even tempted to play Salah through the middle to accommodate someone else.
I think, again, discounting the last 5 weeks, Gordon's still not been the worst performer in that team as well. He's been one of the ones who's been consistent from the start. And he came in with a lot of people saying that he wasn't living up to... He came in January, obviously, and at the end of last season, a lot of people were saying he wasn't up to it. But in terms of what he does, the goals he gets here, he's always there. It's like an attack dog. And I just think I love the player that he's become. He was quite annoying for me at Everton. And I think for a lot of teams, he looked like, a bit childish. But now he's matured so much.
He's definitely still annoying at Newcastle. It's just because he plays for Newcastle now.
No, he's been sensational.
No.
I
agree that like he's very, very good. But I'm saying from a fan's perspective, like, you know, like when Grealish plays for City and you go, great player, but he's so annoying to play against if it's your team playing against him. That's what Gordon's like.
Would you take him to the Euros?
We've got so many forward options, probably not.
He's won a Euros already just in the summer.
So is Dom Solanke and a few others. So
I think there's got to be a discussion that he's been England's best left winger this season. You know, Grealish has been out of the side, Rashford's been out of form.
I think that he's been playing every game pretty much as well. I think he's only missed maybe 2 games. I don't know if you got the appearance stats.
6 goals, 4 assists and 18 apperances, Prem. Should we put Salah up because he's nailed
no discussion on Salah, but he's got to be there.
Playing on the right, yeah.
Back to his best?
Absolutely back to his best.
Maybe not back to his best was like similar to Van Dijk to a different level, but I think currently he's just so relentless, and I think he's got 12 goals, 7 assists.
Incredible. Yeah. 12 goals, 7 assists in 19 Premier League appearances. That's 19 goal contributions.
Also, you have to bear in mind that Liverpool front three has literally no balance at the moment. Players running everywhere, but he's just a consistent.
His numbers, though, have always been phenomenal. Yeah. Goals to game ratio.
A lot when Haaland's not even making it, by the way.
What's that?
That's a good when you're keeping Haaland out of the Premier League team. You know that there's something there.
Yeah. It's very, very true.
So you've gone. So you want Son and you want
Watkins.
I'm happy to play Son off the left.
Could you play Son off the left and
We've seen Son play that before.
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your middle ground?
We're putting another Tottenham player in.
You campaigned for him.
Yeah, he's your player.
I know, you printed the magnet.
You're desperate for Anthony Gordon.
I really would love Anthony Gordon to be there, just so we've not got such a top 6 side.
Yeah, because I was trying to I'll be completely
traditional
honest
top 6 side. I think there's better.
I don't remember putting him in. But I do want Saka in the side, but he can't play off the left.
Yeah.
So he has to play off the right, unless I was changing it.
You're playing Watkins down the middle.
Yeah.
I think we could do Watkins and Son as one each there.
Yeah.
And then you get your Villa fix, but it's a disgrace.
Why don't you put Gordon on the bench then?
He's on the bench.
Here you go.
I wasn't even
up the top on the bench. There we go.
And Trippier. We'll get Trippier in there.
Yeah, I think Bowen deserves an honourable mention as well, and I think also Trent.
Trent was
really talk about.
I just think
the
way Trent's playing it, it's almost like he's doing more for the forwards than he is like defensive.
Also, Arsenal fans are going to be seething at this. There's 4 Tottenham players.
They're always seething.
There's only 2 Arsenal
still seething about a VAR decision about 56 games 56 days ago.
But I see a lot of we could have potentially had Gabriel in there, but we saw a lot of Arsenal fans midweek moaning about some individual performances this season. So
it's got on the bench, by the way.
Chris Wood deserves a mention as well. I mean, for him.
Yeah. How about the finish at the weekend?
Which one?
Where did he learn to do that? Who's taught him that? Because he wasn't doing that when he played for Newcastle.
Like the interviewer actually asked him, that was not a very Chris Wood type of goal, and he's like, oh, okay.
We love Chris.
Well, there it is. Yeah, we do. Yeah, lovely goal.
And then would you have Unai Emery as your manager, by the way, just very quickly?
Yeah, I threw Emery in as well. Yeah. I think so.
Well, there is confirmation of the team of the season so far. Let us know what you think about it. They've got a lot of subs, a lot of options off the bench here.
Yeah.
Emil pushing for Anthony Gordon, as you can see. Let us know what you think, if it's right, if you'd make any changes.